Every single one of these facts has been repeated so many times that most people believe them without question. Teachers have taught them. Movies have shown them. But every one of these 10 things is actually false. And historians and scientists know exactly why the myth started. Let's go through all 10. Only one real Viking helmet has ever been found fully intact by archaeologists, and it has no horns. Not a single genuine Viking artifact from the actual Viking age shows horned helmets. The image actually comes from an 1876 opera costume, designed for Wagner's Ring Cycle, centuries after the Viking age ended. Illustrators kept copying that dramatic costume design until it became accepted as fact. This myth has been repeated in textbooks for decades, but NASA has directly confirmed it's false. The wall is long, but it's too narrow to be seen with the naked eye from orbit, especially compared to how wide the human eye's resolution actually allows at that distance. Multiple astronauts have confirmed they couldn't spot it without aid. This fact came from a flawed 1950s military study that only measured subjects wearing full bodysuits with their heads left exposed. Of course, the head lost more heat. It was the only uncovered part. Your head loses heat proportional to its surface area, roughly 7 to 10%, not the 50% plus the myth claims. Bulls are actually colorblind to red. They can't perceive it any differently than other colors. What actually agitates a bull in a bullfight is the movement of the cape being waved, not its color. Matadors could use a blue or green cape and get the exact same reaction. Gladiators were expensive to train and valuable to their owners, like professional athletes today. Historical records suggest most gladiator matches ended without death, and killing a skilled gladiator was often considered a financial loss. Fights to the death were the exception, reserved for special or dramatic events, not the norm shown in movies. Napoleon was recorded at 5 feet 2 inches, in French units. French inches were slightly longer than British inches at the time. Converted correctly, he stood around 5 feet 6 to 7 inches, which was roughly average height for a European man in his era. The short myth partly comes from British wartime propaganda exaggerating it further. Educated people since ancient Greece understood the earth was round, and this was widely accepted throughout the medieval period among scholars, sailors, and the church. The flat earth medieval myth was largely popularized by a 19th century author writing a fictionalized, inaccurate account of Christopher Columbus. This myth has been debunked for decades, yet it's still one of the most repeated facts online. Einstein excelled in math from a young age and had mastered calculus before age 15. The myth likely spread because grading systems in Switzerland were reversed compared to what people assumed, making his top grades look like failing ones. This connection wasn't proposed until the 20th century, centuries after the rhyme first appeared in print. There's no documented evidence linking it to plague symptoms or death at all. Folklorists who've studied the rhyme's actual history have found no connection to the Black Death whatsoever. Ancient civilizations chewed tree resin and other natural substances thousands of years before candy as we know it existed. Modern gum's direct commercial origin actually traces back to attempts to find a synthetic rubber substitute, not a candy recipe at all. The mint flavoring and candy branding came much later as a marketing choice. 10 widely repeated facts, and every single one turned out to be wrong once historians and scientists actually checked. If one of these surprised you, let me know which one in the comments. Subscribe for more myths and misconceptions broken down just like this.